Stephanie Shivers. Welcome, everyone. I'm Stephanie Shivers. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer here at Caring Kind, and I'd like to welcome you all to our Monday evening education seminar webinar meeting. We're glad to have you all here, and it's my privilege to be able to be with you all tonight and to have Pam Atwood. As I said, we will be recording this meeting, and your names will not be shared with during that recording. The way we're going to run this tonight is that if you have a question, go ahead and put that in the chat, and you can either you can send that directly to me, and I will be asking the questions and fielding those off to Pam, or you can send it to everyone in the chat if you want them to see, if you want people to be able to see the questions that you have available. Tonight, we're going to be talking about taking the battle out of bathing. And I have a wonderful colleague and friend that is not Wonder Woman, but is Pamela Atwood, who's going to be leading the conversation tonight. Pam is a gerontologist and a licensed professional counselor associate, an author, and experienced dementia specialist. Fun fact is that Pam hired me years and years ago, and I got to return the favor to bring her on board at Caring Kind. In addition to her work at Caring Kind, she owns Atwood Dementia Group Counseling, Coaching, and Consulting, which is based in Connecticut. Pam and her amazing husband, Tom, who I also know, co-authored a book called Total Engagement, Activities for Growth and Expression in Older Adults. I highly recommend that. It's available from Health Professions Press. And Pam currently has a series of children's books also coming out in press. She's a widely sought after speaker on a variety of topics such as veterans with PTSD and dementia, humor as a coping strategy, and intimacy and sexuality in dementia care, which we featured a few months ago. She's worked in aging services for the past several years. I won't list that number at this point. And she volunteers to facilitate support groups for the Alzheimer's Association and the American Parkinson's Disease Association. Pam's a graduate of Clark University, University of St. Joseph, and Southern New Hampshire University. Thanks again for everyone attending. I will be monitoring the chat, so if you have any questions, feel free to include those there. And Pam, why don't you take it away for us?
Thank you so much, Stephanie. It is my pleasure to be back with you all in Zoom land, and we're going to talk about a very tough topic today. Last month we did intimacy and sexuality, and somehow I'm kind of torn on which one's more difficult to deal with, and probably because they're not all that different in the sensitive nature of the issues. But we're going to jump right in because we could spend all night talking about this, but we do have a limited time. I will, as Stephanie said, encourage you to put your questions in the chat, and we will hopefully get to all of them. I have been teaching all of this for a long time, so I've probably identified a lot of your questions in advance, and hopefully this will be a comprehensive presentation for you. Bathing is important. Obviously, we all know that, especially any of us who have ever had children or a stinky partner when they go out and, chop wood or do whatever it is that they're out doing, or when we're hiking or biking or whatever. We know that bathing cleans our skin. It helps us avoid irritation, inflammation, and sores. The bacteria gets in there, and whether it's in your toes or under your pits or whatever, obviously all of that can accumulate, increasing all kinds of risks. What we know in dementia care is that a person's hygiene has to at some point be maintained for them, that eventually as whatever condition that's given them dementia progresses, that they will need help with this activity. And we call these activities of daily living, or ADLs. And bathing is one of the most important ones. Therefore, we know that a lack of hygiene does mean neglect. And a lot of times when we're looking at why is this such an important issue, it's because it's that important. If your skin is not maintained, if you are not clean, that is neglectful. Incontinence, again, as the diseases progress and someone's becoming incontinent of bowel and bladder, we know that that can lead to infections. It causes UTIs or urinary tract infections, which then changes their behaviors and their mood. And that's the first thing we look at is there a UTI? Incontinence also leads to skin breakdown. The ammonia in the urine literally will start to break down the skin, and that's one of the major causes of pressure ulcers, or excuse me, bed sores. The other one is pressure. And ultimately, being clean and feeling fresh is really important for our self-esteem just in general. But for people living with dementia, bathing is the activity associated with the highest frequency of distressed behavioral reactions. No one likes being done to. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Bathing is incredibly private, and especially when we're dealing with some role conflict, whether it's a stranger bathing me, or my child bathing me, or my spouse doing something intimate that isn't what we're talking about normally when we're talking about intimacy. This is just all wrong for most people with dementia. And that resistance can look like anything from name calling and arguing, making up stories. No, no, I already took a shower today. And you're thinking, Mom, I haven't seen you shower in a week. Calling you names, calling you a liar, calling you worse names. Acute distress, actually calling out, crying, screaming, aggression, and fighting and biting, and all of those other kinds of aggressive acts. This doesn't happen for everyone. And I think that's really, really important for all care partners to realize that our anxiety, and we'll be talking about this in a little while, our anxiety is some of the sense that a person with cognitive impairment picks up on. So if we're going in with a little bit of stress in our body language, they may pick up on that and say, oh, something bad's going to happen. This isn't okay. So, we're going to talk tonight about how our approach can be adjusted or adapted to help them be successful in bathing. So, why are people afraid of showers? Obviously, some people have nightmare situations with showers, but most of us don't have this kind of psycho, you know, movie based shower fears. There was a client I actually had once in long-term care, and the person we had brought them in from another facility, and the person had a diagnosis on their chart of hydrophobia. And I thought that was really strange, obviously very unusual, an actual fear of water. And it wasn't really that the person had a psychological fear of or of water. It was that they had so much anxiety and agitation in the shower that the doctor felt that they had to put this on the chart because everybody needed to know that a shower was a very distressing situation for this person. And when we took this person in our long-term care facility, I said to the case manager, you understand we're never going to shower this person. And she said, what? What do you mean you're not going to shower them? I said, they have a diagnosis of hydrophobia. Why would we give them something that's going to give them a psychiatric distress? And she said, well, how are you going to shower them? I said, we're not. There's no law in any state that says we have to give showers in long-term care. What the law states is that we must maintain hygiene. And there's a big myth in long-term care. Well, we've got to shower them twice a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays or Mondays and Wednesdays. What do you want? It's not true. We're going to talk tonight about all of the myths and how to break those down and how to really help accomplish that hygiene maintenance, which is what is so important. Uh, Sorry, I was just looking at the chat and some people are having a problem. Stephanie, can you hear me okay? Okay. So what do we think of when we're thinking of bathing? Number one, we like the spa experience. Now, I'm not a bath person, I'm a shower person, but I love soaking in the ocean. I love going swimming. I love general bathing, but I like that spa experience. Sometimes I'm in a rush and it's a task to do, right? It's a chore. I've got to hurry up and take a quick shower before I go and run doing something else. So sometimes it's not this pleasurable. But bathing isn't pleasant for everybody. In fact, my dog doesn't like it. My cat really doesn't like it. Even my kids didn't like it when they were little. And for people with dementia, our normal bathing experience no longer looks anything related to spas when we have grab bars and we put in tub benches and handheld showers and everything else that looks rather institutional. Speaking of institutional, those things look really scary. Research shows that the following factors contribute to this pain, especially between the toes, the knees, neck, shoulders. So every time we want to reach up under someone's arm, I have a pain in my shoulder. When I was probably in my 20s, I got in a car accident and I had a 2% permanent partial disability. What does that mean? Whew, in my 50s, it hurts to shave under my arms. It hurts to get clean. That hurts. It's not going to make me disabled, but man, oh man, does it hurt. I can't even imagine what's going to happen when I get dementia in my 80s or 90s. Hopefully not, but maybe. And that's going to be even worse. Frozen shoulders are very common. And hey, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's why in long-term care settings, we play basketball because these are the same muscle groups as donning a shirt and raising your arm to get cleaned underneath your armpits there. Every toe has joints. So therefore, if there's arthritis in our joints, you can expect arthritis pain in every toe, in the feet, in the ankles, in the knees, everywhere. Fatigue and weakness contributes to distress in bathing. I'm exhausted and I'm prepping for a big fight because I don't want to get naked with you. You're a stranger, or you're my daughter, or my son. Confusion, anxiety just from being naked, from being afraid of falling. I don't know about you, but I finally got one of those little, I don't know, we got it at our CVS, I think, or Walgreens, uh, little suction cup grab bar thing for my shower because my sister fell, and if she can fall, I can fall. So yeah, we have a fear of falling. And as my husband, the physical therapist, says, the biggest factor that increases your risk of falling is a fear of falling because you're guarded, you're not having normal movements. Being in a noisy or unfamiliar place, unspoken triggers. I spent 15 years working at Hebrew Home in Connecticut, and we had Holocaust survivors. And when our staff said it's time for your shower, that triggered a whole new level of fear. And we never, ever, ever wanted to trigger somebody's fear with that. Other traumas can be triggers as well. Other things, a lot of people may have had a sexual assault or rape in the past. They may have never told their family, especially their children, about it. So we have to remember that sometimes things that happen to our bodies are something that we don't talk about. So even though you know this person really well, you may not know everything. And of course, the biggest thing, just being cold, having a drafty bath area. I don't know about you all, even though it's sunny and beautiful, and God, I love that it's so light at this time of day or night, it's still a little chilly. I'm here in Connecticut and I have had my little heater on all day. If I was to get into my bathroom where we take away the slip rugs, right? The first thing that a PT or an OT says is get rid of these scatter rugs. So now you've just got this naked tile on the floor and that's cold. And you're going to sit on this cold bench or you're going to stand there and wait till the water gets warm. And maybe the water gets colder when someone flushes a toilet or you're running out of hot water or whatever. So all of these things contribute. A lack of control of the water or in general, what's happening. All of those things can trigger. And of course, the wrong temperature, the wrong water sprays. So the other thing that I really coach families in my business and caregivers when I have taught staffs is we need to be very, very aware of the language we use. Physical therapists, I tease my husband all the time, never get refusals because they don't say, does anybody want to go? They don't say, hey, do you want to come down to PT? No, no one wants to go to PT. We all know it stands for pain and torture. However, if the therapist shows up, they say, it's time for PT. Let's go. Or it's time. Even, I don't know why my light keeps going on. I'm so, so sorry. I probably put it on a timer accidentally. Um, but what we do know is that if we say it's time for, or let's go do something, the person may be more obliging. Many times, though, especially when it comes to a shower or a bath, it's still a resistance. So just like when my kids were little, I didn't say to them, Tommy, do you want to take a bath? No. Tommy, it's time for a bath. No, Mom, I don't want to take a bath. Tommy, do you want to take a bath or a big guy's quick rinse? All right. This is about giving two acceptable options. Either way, you're getting naked and soapy. But I'm going to give you the choice. Some of the alternatives would be a wash up, a cleanup, a freshen up, a quick cleanse. So we would say, well, do you want to soak in the tub tonight or do you want to do just a quick cleanse? Do you want to take a whole shower or just a wash up? And we're going to spend some time in a little while talking about how that looks and how to get it done. So a big myth is that we have to shower or get clean every day. I'm working with someone right now who is originally from Brazil, and in her culture, they not only shower every night, but every night before dinner. Now, in my family, we took a bath every night before bed. And she said, well, why would you want to eat when you're dirty? You have to shower before dinner. So everybody's culture, everybody's personal experience is a little bit different. Older adult skin changes though. The skin, and you can probably see in mine, I have not, I've been a little better hydrated today, but I'm still a little hydrated. Those of you who know Skin Turger are saying, Pam, you need to start drinking more water. But my skin is getting, I'm, my mid 50s now, that kind of papery thin skin. And as we age, it gets thinner and thinner, and it takes so little to get a skin tear for older adults. That skin needs to be protected, and washing every day removes some of the oils that moisturize it. You don't get as dirty as you used to. You don't have the oil buildup that you used to. And so cleaning every day is not necessary. There are some things, obviously, if a person is incontinent, yes, they need to be cleaned, but taking a full shower is not necessary. So, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about some basic tips and we're going to watch it in a little bit too. But the first thing is to check your stress level. This isn't easy. It's not, I can remember the first time I had to wipe my mother-in-law's backside. This was not easy. I was stressed, and that made her feel uncomfortable because she knew this wasn't what she and I ever envisioned would be our relationship. But sometimes things happen. But you want to check your stress level. If you're sending out that, that body language or that nonverbal anxiety, a person can tense up just because you're tense. Generally speaking, we want to start on their dominant side. Now, a lot of home health aides and nurse aides were taught just start on the side that's closest to you. But for dementia care, we want to give them control where we can. On their non-dominant side, they're naturally weaker, so that may make them feel more vulnerable. By starting on their dominant side, I'm right-handed, so you would start on my right side, I might be able to help, and you can elicit my help with my dominant side. So it's a way of building trust. Ask them to do whatever they can do by themselves. Usually we can all still wash our faces. The trick, though, is to do the good dementia care communication steps and make sure that you're using good communication skills. Take this, wash your face. So you're not going to say, or you might say, okay, do your eyes or do your cheeks. So you're giving some task breakdown instead of, here you go, do a wash up, which may sound simple enough, but there's lots of other little steps there. So although we might have them start by washing their face, for us as the helpers, we want to start at the feet and work our way up. And that is, again, very different than what a lot of aides are taught is you start with the face and work your way down. But in dementia care, we want to start at the feet. Part of that is because we're going to let them feel the water, and the feet are the least vulnerable parts of our body, unless we're very ticklish, which I am. Good communication techniques. Again, we want to explain everything that we're doing. And we want to have a conversation in between those steps. And you're going to see in the video in a minute a young woman who did that very well. So, for instance, I might say, okay, wash your face. Now tell me, what church do you belong to? Do you go to that church up on Highland Street? And then I say, oh, yes, I've been there for many years. Okay, I'm going to turn the water on your feet now. And tell me, what are the people like there? Do they have a lot of young children or do they have a lot of older folks? So, we're going to try to have a conversation and not focus on the task, because focusing on the task alone makes them feel like this is just all about the task. When we can say instead, hey, let's have a relationship. Let's do this in relation to each other, giving them acceptable choices whenever we can. So again, the option is not, do you want to take a bath? The option is, do you want to take a bath or a wash up? The option is, do you like this soap or this soap? Do you want to use the loofah or the washcloth? Do you want to hold this or do you want me to hold it for you? Okay, there are lots of opportunities in the bathing experience where you can give them choice. Have them verify that water is still comfortable temperature for them and keep going back to that. That shows attentiveness. And ask them if they're warm or comfortable. One of the reasons that I think in healthcare organizations, we tend to rush through this is mostly because of the water temperature. We're afraid that either that water is going to cool off too soon. So we tend to rush instead of saying, yes, but if I've got two people who can do this, then you stay here with this person. I'm going to go get some fresh, warm water. And that is one of the challenges, especially if we're using two basins, which we'll talk about in a minute. So the water temperature is kind of hard to manage. Okay. Oh, and I put here also 1 minute topics of conversation, a day late and fill in the blank, dollar short. That's just a drop in the bucket. Don't count your chickens before. Okay. You can talk about these little proverbs or what have you, these old sayings, and have them come up with the answer, which is a good cognitive game. And then say, well, what do you think that means? And their opinion's never wrong. If they say don't count your chickens before they hatch because maybe the fox got to them, that's not a bad answer. That's probably not what they meant, but you never know. Being a bull in a china shop doesn't have to necessarily do with the country, but if that's where your loved one is and they want to have a conversation about that, go with it. Basic supplies you're going to need for bathing: table, because you're going to need to put all these supplies on them. 3 to 4 washcloths. Yes, that seems like a lot. And when I was working in long-term care, we actually had our what do they call that? Like the supply people. The supply department was saying, how come your dementia unit is using so many linens? What, because they're doing it the right way. In order to do this properly, I don't want them to rush. I want the resident to be able to hold a washcloth too, which means we're at least going to need two. And if we do one for the face and the body and one for the peri area, we're going to need at least 3 or 4. We're going to need at least 2 bath towels, one to keep on them to keep them warm and one to dry off with. We may want Q-tips to dry in between the toes, because if we don't get that really dry, fungal infections can come up there. We may need 2 wash basins, one for soapy water and one for rinsing.
Looks like
Regular soap, it's an, oh, sorry.
you froze for just a second. I think you're
Oh,
back.
I'm so sorry. It says my internet connection.
Yep,
Really,
you're.
really, really. That made me sound unstable. I just highly recommend no rinse soap products. You can use regular soap, better moisturizing soap than something like it was the old Ivory or whatever, good soap, but it really does dry out the skin. And if you're going to use shampoo, and we'll talk about that in a minute, make sure it's no tears shampoo. You're absolutely going to want lotion or moisturizer for the limbs, neck, and face, and a barrier cream for under the breasts, in the folds of the skin, and in the peri area, especially if they are incontinent. You're going to want if you're doing a bed bath, a waterproof mat or a garbage bag with towels over it works just as well too. And obviously some clean clothes or nice bathrobe or whatever. If you have the opportunity to get a towel warmer, oh, yes. If you have a washer dryer right next to your bathroom and you can pull those towels right out of a hot dryer, beautiful. My shower's upstairs on the second floor. My dryer's in the basement. I can barely do carry a load of laundry up the stairs anyway, let alone two. It's not going to be warm by the time I get it up there. So it's not always an ideal world. Other tips, consider that there are some possible pain in all joints. Be slow and gentle, especially at the shoulders or arms, the knees, the hips, and the back. A lot of times we'll say, okay, well, you want to pick up their leg to be able to wash underneath, but we want to bend their knee instead because number one, it's better for your back. And number two, it won't overstretch their hamstring, which is probably tight if they're not up and walking every day. Follow this general wash guide. Feet first, legs, torso, arms, under the arms and hands, neck, face, genital area last. And again, like I said, plan for a moisture barrier at the peri area. Obviously, I really want to emphasize that. So this video that we're going to watch now is actually a video that was produced by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services and sent out to every nursing home in the country. It was extremely well received. The only problem is it's an hour long. And most facilities, when they're training their CNAs, don't have an hour to give to one video on bathing, especially because they're taught how to do bathing already in CNA school. However, it's a really good video and I have used it a million times. Okay, maybe that's an overstatement. Teaching staffs, and the reaction with the staff is always the same. They love this video because it's real life. We're going to watch a couple of little clips and then we'll pause for some comments. But hopefully this will work. And Steph, you're going to have to make sure that you can hear that. Is it audible? Yep. Okay, I'm going to just make sure that my volume is up. And we're going to bring this to 318 or thereabouts.
To take a shower.
You can hear this?
Think about your last pleasant bath or shower in your own home. How is it different? How would it compare to the experience of the person that you bathe? It's not the same at all, is it? Bathing should be pleasant or at least tolerable for residents, just as it is for us. In this program, we'll be showing you a number of real-life situations. We've blurred the features of the residents and the staff to preserve privacy and dignity, and obtained written consent for the use of these videos for educational purposes. Let's take a look at an actual case. In this video, the person doesn't want to be bathed, but the caregiver insists.
But I don't want no shower because I don't like them things.
You don't?
No.
Well, we're not going to take that long to have to give you a shower.
No, you don't have to. You're a damn lie. You don't have to give no shower.
The person goes along, but as the shower proceeds, she gets more.
Pam, you're on mute.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I just wanted to say that this is real life video and it is a little difficult to watch, but I assure you that no one was badly hurt in any of it and everybody's okay in the end.
And more upset.
In the name of Jesus, amen. I said, I'm going to jerk this thing down and then wear your tail out with it. I said, get on out. Get on out of my look at y'all. I wish you'd get up from down there looking at my tail. Look at yours. You ought to be looked at more than anybody else.
Don't miss Sue.
The caregivers are doing the best job they can in a difficult situation when suddenly the the situation turns more violent.
There ain't none of y'all in this. Wasn't nothing but devils.
I don't hear
Caregiver
anything.
who's not bitten struggles to finish the shower.
Hi, Anita. You don't hear it?
Yeah, I don't
I can hear it.
Okay, I don't
Someone
see
else can hear
anything
it?
and I don't hear anything. So I'm just, wait,
Okay,
I don't
I
know.
do apologize. I will,
No,
what I can do is if you make sure that your email is in the chat, I will send you the video so that you can see it afterwards. But
okay.
I apologize for that technology. I'm not quite sure how that all happens, but since some people are seeing it, I think it's probably I assume
I may,
most people are seeing it.
yeah, I may switch. I don't know. Okay,
If you're on the
Okay.
phone, you may have to swipe it, Anita, to get it to show.
okay. I'm swiping, I'm swiping, I'm swiping. I could see that last segment. I'm swiping. I don't see anything, but that's,
Okay. I'm gonna keep going, Anita, and hopefully you'll be able to
Please
figure it out
do.
once
Yep.
it's okay. Yep, thanks.
yes.
Pleasant experience. Here is the same resident being showered after one of the CNAs we just saw had adapted her approach to meet this person's special needs. Watch for what's different.
We won't give you a bath, we'll give you just a wash up.
Yeah, that'll be all right with me.
Okay. Yeah, we do the same thing. I'm gonna put this over you so you can be warm in the hallway
All right.
till we get up there to clean you up.
All right.
Just can't always be this courteous.
Yeah.
You just done a good job. Miss Fancy, what church you go to?
Rock spraying on criticizing.
Where that's at? In Greenwood? What's your face?
She said, yeah, I go agree on it.
I've never been there.
You should come out there sometime.
I'm gonna try to see if I can make it sometime. Can I take this off so I can rinse you off so we can go?
Can you identify what was different about that shower?
One of the things I forgot to mention, there's also no law that says we have to bathe people naked. One of the things that is in that video is she was wearing a Johnny through all of it. And that is something that we can do. The first thing that happens when a Johnny gets wet is residents want to take it off. So they may be more comfortable at that point, and because you haven't been fighting with them to be naked, they may be more willing, and you've developed that trust and rapport now as well. I do want to go on for just a little bit more here.
Here are a few of the things that the aide now does. She reassures the person that she'll be covered and warm, and she does it. She talks with her about things that she knows the person is interested in, such as her church. She gives her a sense of control by asking if she can remove her gown. And also notice that this shower only required one aide to do it. If the person had resisted having her gown removed, the aide could have left it on and rinsed around it, or used a no-rinse soap. Now let's look at another technique we used with the same resident, this time bathing her in bed using a large towel moistened with a no-rinse soap product, sort of like covering her with a giant washcloth, and again, keeping her covered and warm and in control. We call this a towel bath, and later we'll show you exactly how to do it. But for now, let's look at how it went, and remember, this is the same person that we saw previously.
Can I wash your face?
Yes, I'm taking the glasses. Is my glasses off?
Yes, ma'am. You know you got the prettiest skin. Yes,
She
ma'am.
said, ooh, I said, that towel is really wet, ain't it?
Yes, ma'am.
She said, yes, it is. I said, feels good, so it sure is wet. She said, yes, ma'am, that's a wet towel. I said,
Yeah, you
"Ooh."
massage like this right here. Don't that feel good?
Yes, it does. She said, ooh, yes, so that feels so good. I don't know what to do. Ooh, ooh, thank you, ma'am.
Right then. You about clean clean the front, I got to wash the back.
She said, well, I sure do appreciate what you all are doing.
Yes, ma'am.
I said, I appreciate it. I have to say that because I ain't got no money. to
Oh,
give.
we don't charge anything.
Wow. Did you see how she went from cursing, grabbing, and biting to thanking the CNA and offering to pay for the service? How much better both must feel.
Gotta unmute yourself, Pam.
Thank you. I saw Edwin going like this and I thought, oh, Edwin can't hear something. Oh, poor Edwin. So let's take a moment and I invite you to start with some questions here. I will tell you that in the full video, what mostly gets the attention of the aides is in the very first scenario, the woman actually does fall in her chair in the shower. And again, like I said, she wasn't hurt or anything, but after the bite, then the one aide tried to rush through the rest of it. And the rushing is really what makes it so dangerous and difficult. When we start rushing, then that increases our tension. And out of all of the scenarios, it's being rushed that makes people feel more anxious. So, Steph, did we have questions so far in the chat or anything?
We do have a few. So Carolyn said that my mother's still in an earlier phase of dementia and we're having issues with her bathing. She always thinks she took a shower in the morning. She's too aware to let others help her. How can we work through having her bathe?
Great question. The first thing to remember is this is a phase. It's a stage, and that at some point the fighting does lessen. Insofar of uh, being resistive to that care. Part of it is their transition. They're having to transition and change. Remember that change and transition are two different things. Change is what the abilities are, or, it could be anything, changing jobs, changing houses, changing, you know, change is a situation. Transition is our emotional response to changes. So your mother, I think it was you mentioned, is in a transition of having to need help with care. That first of all says, A, I'm no longer competent to know when I need care. B, I'm no longer competent to do it myself. And C, other people know that. And that is very threatening to any of us, and especially the person with dementia. In living with dementia, one of the things that I've learned over my 30 years of work is, and with my family members who I've been a caregiver for, we all have two fears. We don't want to look crazy and we don't want to sound stupid. And so if we go at this and say, Mom, I love you. I never want you to be embarrassed. Therefore, I have to tell you, I know you would tell me if I needed a shower more often, or if I needed to get cleaned up, then you would want I would want you to tell me. And I know you would want me to tell you. And I know it's uncomfortable and I'm sorry. You know, in saying I don't want to make you embarrassed, I don't think you're crazy, I don't think you're stupid. I just need you to get clean. We need to get clean. The other thing is to again look at your language. Can we call it something else? If my husband were to come in here and say, my daughter and I tease each other about this all the time, actually. She'll say, oh, you need a shower. Go take a shower. I'm like, oh, I smell. Oh my God. And she's like, Mom, I'm joking with you. Well, my daughter plays softball and she works and she's always into something. And I said, Charlotte, you smell. You need to go take a shower. What? And, we tease each other that way. But when I'm older and have dementia, for all I know, I'll look at her and say, ha ha ha, you're so funny. No, I don't. And she'll be thinking, oh. So part of it may be just the word shower or bath. And you may just want to change it to a quick wash or a wash up at the sink. And it may be something that they really don't need more regularly. But honestly, if you look at this from a point of compassion, that this is a person with fear and dignity concerns, um, that's one of the approaches. The other thing is the time confusion. So what I used to do with my grandmother is that I used to lie. We now call it therapeutic fibbing or joining the metaphor, joining them on the journey, whatever you want to call it, it's lying. A little fib. And I used to say, "Oh, you wanted me to remind you about a shower and you haven't taken one this morning. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. Let me help you with it now." It's a little fib, but it reinforced that it's my fault, not hers, and that it's me wanting to help her because I care. Some days that worked, some days it didn't. The other thing is with my grandmother, we had to go in and steal her clothes because the other option is that she would then hop out of the shower and put on the dirty clothes again. So while she was in the shower, we would run in, steal those clothes, bring them downstairs and put them in the laundry and lay out the new fresh clothes. So that is another caregiving adjustment that you have to do. So,
Um, there are a couple other questions, and I think they're on this theme of confusion and people thinking that they're in a shower or not wanting to, and then using that as an excuse.
Yep.
And so I think, just any other tips on,
Mhm.
how you can actually do that type of encouragement without basically accusing them of lying or,
Yep.
uh,
Yep. Yep. So one of the things that we used to say a lot and part of this was generational. Back in the day, everybody took a shower before church on Sunday. So Saturday night, everybody would take their shower or bath. So we did get into, saying, "Oh, well, you know what? We're going somewhere tomorrow. We need to be cleaned," or, to the doctor. Okay, well, you know what? You got to take a shower or bath before you go see that doctor. So sometimes we need to find a reason or an excuse that's acceptable to the person with the memory problem. Because just because you think so may not be enough. So
I've
this,
encouraged people to, if there's any kind of a community, if there's a gym or someplace, that would be kind of normal to take a shower, building that into a person's routine. And so, or you do a workout and then after the workout, you do a shower.
Yep.
That can also be helpful for some folks. And especially
absolutely.
if you have tight quarters in your, if there's a place where you can go swimming and then have a shower afterwards, that's a great, great solution for folks.
Yep. So let's look now at the rest of the no rinse soap products and whatnot, because I think that really is for a lot of people at various stages. It doesn't just have to be at end stage. We use these a lot for people on hospice, and I have always contended we need to use them much more regularly. First key concept, an agitated person should always be regarded as a frightened person. We need to look at what is their underlying trigger to their agitation, and it's fear. Be a detective to figure out what's triggering that. And for a lot of them, if they are relatively calm outside of the bathing experience, it's something in the environment, and it is probably something we're doing, not intending to make them agitated or distressed, but it's something that, therefore, if it's something we're doing, it's something we can change. I say that to empower people, not to make you feel badly. So some of the researched outcomes, music. Oh, music is so wonderful for all memory issues, but especially music if we're making this fun, if we make this enjoyable. Now, there are lots of things that say minimize the distractions in the shower, but I'm going to tell you right now, I shower and sing along every day. I'm going to want to be singing along to something when I'm in my shower that my daughter is helping me with. So you want to have their favorite music going. Adaptive approaches, again, a shower bench may be helpful, doing wash ups, no rinse soaps. Just adapting your shower by using a bench or just wash ups, significant reduction in pain and discomfort. that research has showed. Adapting your communication. And there's this new cool thing. I couldn't find a lot about it, but it's called Mindful Garden, and it's a digital screen-based calming device. So imagine, if you will, you have an iPad or something protected from the water in the shower, and it has, different garden scenes or whatever to distract people and have something else going on. It reduced the numbers of behaviors during the shower and the duration of those behaviors. We always recommend aromatherapy and massage, but in research, there's no statistical significant improvement. Doesn't mean you can't use it though. Some tools: tub bench, handheld shower head, and properly placed grab bars really are essential. And at some point in the disease, no rinse soap products are also essential. Lumi, a lot of people ask me about Lumi now. Lumi is great for smell and as a moisture barrier, but it does not replace cleaning. And if none of this works, I really encourage you to talk to your doctor and have a home health OT come in for some equipment or strategies. They may be able to watch you give a shower. They may be able to give a shower and then give you some tips just to make it a more effective experience, and especially for any risks for falls or for your back injury or strain. So here are some products, and all I did was go on Amazon and search no rinse and no water needed products. A lot of these have been really refined and are much less expensive than they used to be because of hiking. So a lot of people, like I had a friend who did the whole Appalachian Trail, and I said to his wife, he must stink to high heaven. And she says, oh no, we use no water-based products, and they're all great for the environment still and all of this stuff. So there is rinseless, waterless products as well. You just squirt some onto a washcloth, or they have the wipes and you just use one wipe per body part. They're a little more expensive than doing the no rinse soap and adding it to water. But if we're talking about how to get through a really difficult bathing experience, it might be worth it. And then we've also got shampoo in a cap, and this is again no rinse. And I wanted to show you how these work. So here's another video. And apologies in advance if you can't hear it.
Our Clean Life No Rinse body care products are specially formulated to gently cleanse, leaving skin clean, soft, and refreshed. Watch how easy they are to use. Our concentrated no rinse body bath is perfect for an easy and effective sponge or bed bath. All you'll need is a bowl, a washcloth, and a small towel. Pour 4 capfuls of our no rinse body bath into a bowl. Fill the bowl with about 1 quart of warm water, making a mild, sudsy solution. Submerge a washcloth into the warm solution and wring out excess liquid. You may follow this traditional medical bathing sequence chart to make sure all areas are covered. You may download it on our website. Apply the solution by gently cleansing all desired areas with the warm washcloth. All our products are formulated to cleanse effectively, yet be gentle on all skin types. Our no rinse body bath is a very soothing, easy way to cleanse your loved one if they're unable to do it themselves or not comfortable showering or bathing in a tub. If you are able to shower, it may even be used as an overall body wash. You will want to use our specially formulated no rinse peri-wash for the perineum, our most sensitive personal areas. Simply remove any residue with a warm, damp cloth. Spray the no rinse peri-wash onto the soiled area and wipe with a clean, dry towel. Our product is so mild and easy to use, you may repeat as many times as needed, and no rinsing required. Our no rinse body wash is ready to use straight from the bottle and requires no mixing or rinsing. A perfect solution for anyone unable to shower or bathe in a tub, or who may not have access to water. You may apply it with a washcloth or use right from the bottle directly on skin. Massage gently to work into a light lather and activate cleansing. Towel dry each part of the body while still wet. You'll love this versatile product that is so gentle, effective, and easy to use. Our no-rinse bathing wipes are a great alternative for easy, ready-to-use cleansing without water, and may even be warmed in the microwave for added comfort. To warm in the microwave, peel back the label as indicated to vent the package. Place the package inside the microwave and heat for approximately 10 seconds. Microwave temperatures may vary. Do not heat for any longer than 15 seconds. You may use the traditional medical bathing sequence chart to make sure all areas are covered. Feel free to download this from our website. Remove and use one wipe at a time for each body area on the bathing sequence chart. Dispose of the soiled wipe. Any moisture will air dry, or you may dry the area with a towel. Our bathing wipes are our most convenient way to cleanse a loved one if they are unable to or not comfortable showering or bathing in a tub. They are especially ideal for cleaning up after sports or a workout, or in the outdoors where there is no access to soap and water. You and your family will love using all of our Clean Life no-rinse products. Most are available in multiple sizes and conveniently designed for how and when you want to use them. Visit the Where to Buy section of our website to see where you may purchase online or at a local retailer near you.
Okay, and I'm not in any way endorsing any of these particular products. I'm just sharing with you some of the videos that are available here. And this one is
Hey, good morning guys, and welcome to
No Rinse
Orange
Shower
Scrub.
Cap.
Today we're going to be going over the Ready Bath Cap Conditioning Shampoo Cap, which is available on many of your units. Now, sometimes you can find it in your warmer, or if you don't have a warmer, you can go ahead and microwave it too. Now, the directions here are to warm it up for no longer than 30 seconds, and then also after you warm it up, you can place it on the head for 1 to 2 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes if you have longer hair. Now let's go plop this into the microwave. So again, I'm not going to open this up quite yet. It is in a microwavable sealed container or package. Plop it in, like so. And then add 30 seconds. And now, keeping in mind that my microwave is a tad bit stronger than that of the hospitals, I'm only going to go ahead and put about 20 seconds for this. There you go, just about 20 seconds. And be careful because it does create some hot spots. And you bring it on over. Bring yourself a towel too, just so you don't have to go grab it afterwards, just making it easy on yourself. And then you simply tear the packet open, and again being very careful as you remove the shower cap from the package. And I like to air it out a little bit. This is a little hot right now, and of course do a little skin test. There you go. And prior to placing this onto the patient, make sure that they are not allergic to anything on there. Should be fairly safe, but some people are just a tad more sensitive, you know. And then place the towel behind the neck. Then you place the shower cap over the hair. And he has a tad bit longer hair. My hair's a little bit longer too, so it's going to be a little bit harder for something as long as my hair. But for demonstration purposes, we use his hair, which is a tad bit shorter. And as you can see here, it's fully sealed around the line of his hairline. And yeah, so as long as the hair is in there, then we can start to massage it into the scalp. This is really a nice way to kind of get your patient to relax. It doesn't even matter sometimes if they're intubated. You can definitely see how relaxed they get. Of course, they should be on some sedative, but I mean, regardless of whatever it may be, this has definitely been proven to relax your patients most of the time. It also helps to, you know, gain their trust, establish rapport, knowing that you're taking good care of your patients. They feel very much taken care of too. And so you massage it into the scalp. I like to do this for about a couple of minutes. It usually fills the room with such nice smelling aroma too, like it's just fresh, you know? So as you massage it into the scalp, there you go. Of course, you want to keep in mind if they have anything like broken skin, you want to avoid that area, and that's pretty much it. And you gently pull it off after a couple of minutes, you toss that into the trash, and then you gently wipe up the hair. And then you comb it.
Okay. So then the last thing that I wanted to share here is why not make it fun? I know my husband would love a basketball hoop in the shower. There are all kinds of different things. I do want to say we look for age appropriate activities. So, but again, sometimes just giving a color of paint soap or some different kinds of things to suction onto the wall or just the cool lights. I mean, there are a lot of other things that you can do to make it more interesting and more pleasurable and more like a spa or something just to distract them. We want to make sure that we're doing something that's age appropriate, but the first rule is to keep you both safe. And that brings me to my last slide. Yeah, whoa, don't Google bath toys for adults. It's an interesting result that you get. Again, our goal is to maintain hygiene, keep the skin moisturized. You want things that are odor free just to reduce the chance of irritation. And we want this non-distressing and enjoyable for everybody. So I do have some references, but other than that, we'll leave it on this for now. Actually, no, we'll just stop share and open it up for final questions and thoughts.
There was one question about, people with more tangled hair. And
Mhm.
I know that what I've used in the past, I'm actually an occupational therapist who worked in home care with folks, is I think the shower cap and then kind of any typical detangling product is a good solution for that. I don't know whether you have other suggestions, Pam.
If they stay still,
Mm.
it sounds crazy, but an iron, not like your house iron, but a straightening iron does take care of a lot of the detanglings. My daughter's hair would go to dreadlocks in 3 days when she was young. It was incredible how curly and kinky her hair was. And I can remember she was in tears. It took one of our hairstylists 4 hours once to do her hair to get rid of all of the knots and everything without cutting it. So, if they are afraid of that, that's going to only make it worse. So the more coconut oil can also work sometimes just to kind of work into that. And then a wet brush may help with some of that as well. So specifically look for something called wet brush. Got a lot of experience detangling. Oof. Other thoughts or questions?
Just
Was this helpful? Yeah.
compliments and ideas in the chat. I think
Oh, you know what I wanted to show you also, and I totally forgot to have it up here. So this is, and the only reason I'll use the brand name on this is because it's the only one that I know of. This is something, oh, it's not gonna be able to see. This is something called an aroma tab. They aren't cheap, but man, they're effective. An aroma tab is aromatherapy. They've done all kinds of research on this, including on people with severe anxiety getting into an MRIs. And it substantially reduces some of the anxiety. You can use either a minimum scent or a maximum scent. You can't really see it here, but there are two. You know what? I'm going to take the blur off of my background. You'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so you can see here there's a dashed line, so I just tear it off if I want minimum scent or maximum scent. And now it's opened, and this is a sticker. So I just take this off and I can place this on whatever. I can place it on the towel. I can place it, I mean, you can put it on skin. I wouldn't for frail skin. We can place it on the back of their shirt. We can place it on the shower curtain or whatever. Aromatherapy, although the research shows for shower anxiety, it doesn't help. I'm going to tell you, it helps for all other anxieties. This particular one is lavender and sandalwood, and I love it. And I'm just going to keep it here. I don't know why I didn't put this on me before. So yes, I do like the aromatherapy. Oh, where can we get, oh, recommendations for OTs. So yes, Stephanie already addressed that. Your local visiting nurse, your medical home care, one of the challenges may be that for home care, you need a nurse or a physical therapist or a speech therapist to open up a home care Medicare covered service. OT can't go in on its own yet, but if there's nursing questions or physical therapy questions, they can open the case and then bring in the OT, and your Medicare will pay for that.
And we just happen to have some amazing OT faculty on the call tonight.
We have, well, including Steph, we have a lot of great OTs. The occupational therapist, which is exactly what my daughter now is going to go to school for, yay, they learn some of the most amazing ways to break down an activity and make it so accessible. And you're going to think, oh, how come I didn't know this before? Oh, I did know that, but I didn't think it would work. And look, they made it perfect. I love working with OTs. They're some of the most creative, wonderful folks.
I was actually referring to Adel Hirsch on the who's on
Oh, wonderful,
faculty at
wonderful.
Thomas Jefferson University and is an occupational therapy professor there.
Oh, Stephanie, you're so nice. I'm trying to get the link to the Skills to Care certified OTs. There's a link where you can get them from all over the country.
Right.
And there's specialists in dementia, so that's another
Yes.
place that you can look.
You could send that to us and we'll send it out with the link tomorrow. That would be great.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There was a question earlier about
mhm.
kind of foot care, and what I always recommended to people is introduce the pedicure early and often. Make it a date, go together. How do you deal with, because it's not just, it's the nail care, it's the foot care, but we know that that nail care long term is going to be a need, and so making that a habit is a great opportunity for folks. And I think another thing that I would use is, anytime you can introduce something that you've liked. Oh, gee, Mom, I've got this. I found this amazing lavender cream. I'm absolutely loving it. I've been noticing that my skin has been really dry this past winter. Let me, try it. Let me try it with you. And then, oh, gee, I love this on my back. Do you want me to put some of this on your, how about if I put some of this on your back? I'm noticing, that your skin looks a little bit dry too. And just kind of introducing those techniques on a regular basis so that you're slowly but surely helping a person to become more comfortable with someone, at least, you as a familiar family member, kind of in their more intimate space.
Yes, thank you for all of that. And I do want to say also, if the person has any vascular history, blood clots or insufficiency, or if they're diabetic, instead of the pedicure, it's to the podiatrist. And make sure that you're doing that as well. But, you just want to make sure that if you're going to pedicure without that, just don't let them do the nail clipping. Because that can really be problematic. I do also see another one. Someone came back, I guess, Joyce, do we say, no, you've not taken a shower today? No, our rule of thumb is never argue. No one has ever won an argument with an Alzheimer's patient, ever. It's never been documented. Okay. So why do that? Okay. You can say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I thought well, let's put it on the calendar for tomorrow. One suggestion is to do one limb at a time, or one part of the body each day. so that every day we're cleaning something and keeping that part of the structure and the routine. But today we're just going to do the leg, or tomorrow we're just going to whatever. You can be creative with it. There is no rule that says you have to do a full head to toe shower, once a week, every day, whatever. You can be as creative as your loved one will let you be. And ask them, do you want to do one limb a day, or do you want me to remind you that we're doing a shower every Tuesday? Let them choose it. Or a bed bath. Let's see what else here. I see you, Kimberly, and I see you, Denise. Yay. So glad that you're here, Denise. Yes, I see you're working on it. Only requires a sponge bath once a month. Ooh, ouch. We do sometimes change our expectations. And, maybe the expectation is not that they won't fight with you, but that they'll fight for only 1 minute instead of 10, 15, 20 minutes. We want to make this, process something that we're always working on getting a little bit better at. And the warm wipes truly are amazing, Steph. You're absolutely right. I can remember when I had, which kid? It must have been Charlotte. When I had my youngest, and they brought me a bath in the bag that they had warmed up. I'm like, why has this never been brought into my life before? It's so refreshing and good feeling. Not as great as getting in the shower afterwards, but especially if you've been, post-op, it's, oh,
I think flushable wipes too, making flushable wipes available for people, that's actually transformational now too. That can just
oh,
be.
Andrea Koch, I see you. I have the funniest story. So I had a resident who was in the nursing home, and when I first started working at Hebrew Home, they really didn't know what to do with me. But this poor resident, Nan, I'll never forget this woman. Nan was literally screaming bloody murder in the shower, screaming, and no one flinched. And I said, "What is going on?" And they said, "Oh, it's Nan's shower days." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, she really doesn't like it." I'm like, "No, I get that." I'm like, "Why is this okay?" And so I said to Barbara, her CNA, I said, "Barbara, tell me about Nan." And she said, "Well, she doesn't like showers." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I know that." She said, "Well, she's very religious." And I said, "Barbara, you need to sing to her, and you need to sing those religious songs. And I know you know them." And she said, "No, Miss Pam, I can't sing. I really," and I said, "I'm a singer. Trust me, there's no such thing as someone who can't sing. You just have an untrained voice. Don't worry about it. She's not going to judge you." So the next Thursday, because Tuesdays and Thursdays shower days, um, she gets in there, and all of a sudden we hear "Amazing Grace, oh sweet Jesus." It was so bad. And Nan started laughing hysterically. And she couldn't stop laughing. And the more Barbara sang horribly, the more this woman laughed. And two nurses got up from the desk to go into the shower room to see what the heck was going on that had Nan laughing during the shower. We started calling Barbara Miss B and Beyonce, and she has given me permission to share this. She was once a patient herself in a nursing home, so she had a special sensitivity for being a CNA in a nursing home because she had been there. It was amazing to come to have the strength and the courage to be a non-singer and try singing, to do anything for her residents. I've worked with some of the most amazing nurse aides and home health aides in on the planet. I'm convinced they're just incredible giving people. It's very difficult work, and none of them do it to make a fortune, and they are just amazing people. So if any of you on this call are, thank you for what you do. We thank our veterans all the time for their service. We need to start thanking our CNAs and our healthcare staffs, because they're doing very tough work, and nurses and OTs and all of that, but especially CNAs and home health aides.
I think that pretty much got them all. I've put the link in the chat to the aroma tabs. Those are
Yes,
there.
Eloquil, yes. Thank you for that stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
The shower tablets.
Oh, those were the aroma tablets.
Oh, the aroma tabs. Got it. Sorry.
Catherine mentioned there are absolutely some home modifications that could be done for bathtubs, traditional bathtubs that are, you know, full blown super expensive, and other ones that are more affordable. There's one that you can get as a cutout. That's probably the cheapest one. It is then people can actually walk in. It's a little bit easier for that. I can't recommend enough, getting a handheld shower. It's just unscrewing it and putting the hose on and having a handheld.
So
That
simple.
makes it a huge difference.
Oh, and the other thing that a lot of us in the US don't think about is a bidet. And a bidet can make cleaning much, much easier. My aunt is a nurse, a psych nurse actually, and she just got one put in at her house. She said it's the most wonderful thing.
I think everybody put them in over COVID when we.
Oh, really? We didn't hear, so, but if you don't have one, that might be another really helpful resource. And there is inexpensive as $30. I mean, they're very accessible now. Kimberly, thank you for joining us tonight. We did promote this. I would love to know where you all heard about this. I know we promoted it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, obviously through our own outreach and normal mailing lists. The LinkedIn, thank you. All right.
I'm going to put in the chat the Caring Kind website, which I'm hoping that you all have had access to. And I just want to showcase a few of our programs, our other programs here. If you're really having a challenge, if you're a family caregiver, you're really having a challenge with someone, we actually have a coaching service, which is a one-on-one coaching. It's a one-on-one service with our dementia specialist where they can provide education, with you directly to kind of tease out what your particular issues are. That's a free service that we have available for people. We can do that virtually, can do that in our office. We can meet in the community. There are a number of different ways that can be delivered, and we've got grant funding to be able to do that. For those of you, if you're supporting someone and you're just being proactive in this call and you're supporting, somebody in the early stages, we've got a whole host of new early stage programs for folks that we're doing. We've got other educational opportunities. In addition to this one, we have at least one education opportunity each month in the month. It's typically on a Monday night. We have a webinar that happens on legal and financial issues on Medicaid. And so there's lots of educational opportunities that we have here. We're launching a new program, a new support education workshop. Pam's done one for folks who are living with dementia, and we're launching a new one of those for family or partner care partners. And so that will be available to you as well. And we're trying to meet the needs of those of you who are out there. And so if there's something that there's a service or a program that you're in need of, send us a note and let us know, because we'd like to bring it to you, especially on the education topics. If there's a particular topic that you would like to learn about, let us know and we'll get a speaker in to share that information for you. All right.
And for those of you who didn't see it at the beginning, I think it was the third comment in on the chat is a copy of the PowerPoint presentation in a PDF. So if you have any trouble downloading that, just let us know and we'll get it to you.
All right, and we will send the link of the slides out tomorrow, as we'll send the slides with the link to the bathing video that Pam recommended as well. Any other questions for you all? Any other closing remarks from you, Pam? I know it's 7:15 now. We've been on for an hour.
Thank you. Thank you all just for being here. Joan, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. So many of you I know from other programs, and it's great to have you here. And thank you. Please make sure you let your people who referred you, whether it was your neurologist, I see someone from Normal Lab, from the Lewy Body Dementia Resource Center, let them know if you liked this program, so that they'll know to keep referring people to us. I really do appreciate that, and we want to, make sure that we keep that cycle of communication going. So thank you.
Our next education meeting is going to be on April 10th at 6 o'clock, and that's going to be by Ronnie Lang.
She's so wonderful. I love Ronnie. You're going to love her.
The title of that is called "I'm Still Me, Living Your Best Life with Memory Loss, Discussions of the Challenges, Complexities, and Frustrations of Memory Loss. Suggestions for meaningful activities and helpful resources and programs will be highlighted." So we hope that you all will come back for that event, and you can register for that if you click on the events tab on our website and follow the link for that. You can get to the education seminar. We've also got an in-person performance actually that's by people living with dementia that's going to be on April 18th. We've just released that that information to the public as well, and you can register for that it will be on our website. It's on our Eventbrite website now. It's called "To Whom I May Concern." It's the stories. It's for individuals who are living with MCI, Alzheimer's. I'm not sure what all their diagnoses are, but they actually are talking about their experiences and their stories that's been crafted into a script, and they'll be doing that Reader's Theater style. So that's at 1:30 on Tuesday, April 18th, and our office at 360 Lexington. So hope to see some of you there for that. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. Pam, thank you so much for presenting.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you hopefully next month. Okay. Good night,
Bye.
everyone.